It's finally happened. Damian Lillard has finally requested a trade. We both thought this day would never come. And obviously, it is being reported that the Miami Heat are his preferred destination, although Portland does not have a preferred destination for Damian. They would trade him anywhere. Obviously, there's so many talking points to go with this, of course. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. G, let's just go ahead and get your initial reaction to this breaking news that Dame has finally done what seemed to be the impossible.
Look, it's really unbelievable. We literally came on and made a video about it saying that was never going to happen. That Dame always does this. It's like a part of like Dame's ritual in the off season to flirt with other teams. But I think he finally crossed that threshold to where he's doing a little bit too much for him not to be serious. And I think realistically the only team he said he wants to go to is the Miami Heat. And obviously the Trailblazers are looking for a star for star, equal kind of trade, which I think no one's going to be willing to do. No one's going to trade their star for Dame. It's just not really how it works. And when you trade superstars like a Damian Lillard, you don't ever really get the direct value back, in a player. You usually get it back in picks. But I think the best overall location for Dame is Miami, because we almost came on here and made a video on what the fuck is going on in Miami right now. They let Gabe Vincent go, Max Strus go. These key, like, those are two starters from last season, and I'm saying, what's happening? Why the fuck would they be doing that?
What is Pat doing?
What is Pat doing? Because we were like, honestly, I was questioning Pat. I said, "What's going on, man? Have you lost it? I mean, what's going on here? Go. Is it time to go?" And then it started to make sense. He knows something that I don't know, and that's clear. I'm just a big old idiot looking in because he's cooking, and I think if he somehow does not get this done, I will be done with Miami Heat basketball forever. There's no way that Pat would let all these players go if he didn't already know Dame was basically going to come. Because the rumors are that they're putting in Tyler Hero and possibly Duncan Robinson into that deal, which, it's gonna hurt to see Tyler go. But look, it's a win now type of situation. Jimmy's not getting any younger, and Bam is already getting close to his prime. This is a win now type of team. This is not in the rebuilding scenario. So I think they're gonna get Dame, and I can't wait. Because I thought it's gonna feel so weird to see Dame in another jersey that isn't, the Trailblazers. But look, I'm all for it.
Colors, but
yeah, it's similar colors, but I'm all fucking for it, man. It's just too much flirt, and he, listening to Will Smith, Miami, and Jimmy listening to Dame's music. Because I told you, bro, like literally, who listens to Dame music? No one unironically listens to Dame music unless it's for some type of reason. So
yeah,
but I think it's gonna happen, and we'll just have to see.
Well, clearly, I think Jimmy just wanted to listen to some Dame Dollar. I mean, can you blame him? It's Dame Dollar.
No, he's not listening to Dame Dollar.
But in all seriousness, I can't believe that it's actually happened. I mean, I came on here, a week ago or so, and I said Dame is not going to request a trade because this is what he always does. He always acts like he's going to request a trade, and then he never actually does because of this whole running from the grind thing or whatever, which is a conversation that we're going to get into in a little bit here. But he finally did it. He shocked the NBA world and actually did what he needed to do because let's be honest here, he was wasting away his career in Portland. They were talking about an all-time NBA 75 top greatest players in the league's history player that is wasting his entire career, his entire prime in Portland, a situation to where he has no chance to win. And honestly, it was getting a bit sad because we all know how good Damian Lillard is and how he deserves to be in a situation in which he can actually compete to actually win championships. And that is exactly what he could do if he goes to the Miami Heat. I'm going to be honest here. I think Portland is kind of playing this little game, acting like they don't have to trade him to Miami just to try to get as much out of Miami as possible. But let's just be honest here. We all know that he's going to end up going to Miami. It's just basically a matter of time. It's a formality thing. They're just working out the kinks. No other team is going to get this deal done. And I think Portland, if you don't trade him to Miami, you're doing Dame a disservice. And I think, honestly, it's one of the biggest disgraces in NBA history because we're talking about a guy who has given everything for this franchise. The very least you could do is trade him to his preferred destination. And let's not act like Miami isn't giving you what you want. They're going to give Tyler Hero. They're going to get a third team in the trade. They're going to give up the picks. You're going to get a good offer. Let's not act like they're lowballing or anything like that. So, Portland, you better pull the trigger and give him up to Miami because if you don't, it's going to be a disgrace because this guy has given everything to your franchise. And look, everyone wants to talk about, we know the NBA is a business, this and that. Portland, we know Portland could be thinking, look, we know Dame. He's given a lot to us, but, it's a business. We can trade him wherever we want. And technically they can, but at least do him the service of giving him the chance to go win where he wants to go. That's my opinion, of course, and I think that it ultimately is going to happen. And now it's kind of just a matter of time. And I think I wanted to get into what we kind of think what would you be willing to give up? Because obviously you are a Heat fan, and obviously you don't want to give away everything, of course, because you still want to go and try to compete for a championship. So you want to give up as little as possible, you could say. So what would you be okay with giving up in order to get this deal done?
I think I had to come to before all this was like getting more, like heated. I really wanted to keep Tyler Hero, but I don't see there's any scenario where we do keep him because he's the most valuable trade asset we have. I mean, that's as simple as other than
sixth man of the year.
Yeah, he's sixth man of the year. He's still young, and he averages about 20 points a game.
He fits right in with what Portland could be building.
Exactly, because other than that, we have Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Lowry's about 40.
Yeah,
there's nothing really there. So I think that's the only thing. I've already come to the realization that we have to give him up. And as of recently, Tyler Hero has currently taken the Miami Heat out of his bio on Twitter. So it's kind of like he kind of knows what's trying to go on here, what's going on in the behind the scenes. But that's the most I'm willing to give up because obviously the buck stops. The next person up would be Bam, and why the fuck would we ever trade Bam? That's basically then that's almost going to another Portland,
Yeah.
And that was another thing that a lot of people were talking about. Oh, maybe the Brooklyn Nets. He likes Mikal Bridges. He has a good relationship, but why? That if you add Dame to the Brooklyn Nets right now, even with keeping all their players, that's not good enough. That's just that's literally just the Trailblazers of the East. That's just there's no difference. It's no upgrade. It's just maybe a good little second round team if you're at best. So the best win now scenario for both sides is Dame going to Miami, and at most I'm willing to give up is Tyler Hero, but
and then picks, of course.
Yeah, and then picks, obviously. But I did want to, Poe, you did mention it before. Do you think this taints Damian Lillard's legacy by almost? Because he's made it so abundantly clear that he's actually clowned other players for saying, "Oh, you're scared of the grind, run from the grind, loyal to the soil." And now he's finally, bit the bully. He's requested a trade. Does this taint his legacy? Do you look at him any differently than you did before?
I do not look at Damian Lillard any differently as a result of this trade request. And of course, some people may disagree, but let's just be honest here. We have to look at the state of the NBA. We have to look at what this NBA has come to. And in this day and age, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Players request trades in order to form not super teams exactly, but somewhat super teams in order to win.
Go to winning situations.
Players go to winning situations together. Dame, everyone knows, we've been known that he cannot win in Portland. It's impossible. So sure, he could rot in Portland and basically finish out his career there, stat pad some all-star games and stuff like that. But realistically, that's not what he wants. We're talking about an all-time 75 greatest players in the league history. He needed to make this happen. It does not change my opinion on him at all. If honestly, I wanted them to do this ages ago because we all know how good Damian Lillard is. So this should not taint his opinion or taint your opinion on Dame for any reason, because now he's actually going to get the chance to do it at the highest level, do it maybe in the finals, do it at a place where we know he's good enough. But in reality, he was just never going to do it in Portland. Sure, it's great to win a championship with, for example, the Portland Trailblazers, a team who drafted you, a team who you've basically been your entire career with. You built them up, tried to take them as far as you could go, but you just couldn't get over the hump. It would be great to win a championship like that. But let's be honest here. We're talking about, look, at the bare minimum, LeBron James is the second greatest player in the NBA. Of course, I have him as the GOAT. It took him 13 years of his career to win the Cleveland Cavaliers a championship. And he only could do one championship. We're talking about arguably the greatest player of all time won the Cavs one championship. It's not easy. It is not easy to do it by yourself. It's not easy. And obviously he had to bring players to the Cavs. He had to recruit these guys. Look, Damian Lillard had no chance to win in Portland. Nobody was going to Portland. No superstar was going to join Dame in Portland. So he had to basically say, I'm going to go join a superstar. I'm going to go join Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Coach Spo, and I'm going to go to the Miami Heat, obviously speculating, of course. He did what he had to do. It is not easy to win championships in this league. That's why it is so difficult. We know it time and time again. We know how difficult it is to win in this league. So Dame did what he needed to do. I do not think this taints his legacy for me. And I think when he wins a championship, if it happens, it just adds to his legacy. No one will remember that he ran away from the grind in Portland. And I think it's a ludicrous take if anyone believes that.
Yeah, I think I would 100% completely agree with you. If just for the little fact, I think he just kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit just for poking fun at players like Paul George, other players like that did, try to look for other winning situations because he wanted to be on his high horse saying, I've never done that. I never joined up to a super team. I never did that. But, Dame, don't people just don't, yes, I don't know why he had to make it seem like that because not like everybody pulled a Kevin Durant that didn't go to a 73 win team.
Yeah.
Paul George went to other situations that they weren't ever guaranteed. It's like, oh, they're pretty
They're
good
a
shot.
good team, yeah.
They're a good team, but like it wasn't as egregious as he wants to make it seem. So that didn't help his case. But
And
like you said,
I don't see this as that egregious either.
Yeah, and I don't see it as egregious either because if Dame goes to the Heat, they're not guaranteed. They're a good favorite, but they're not they're not favorited to win it all. But I think he had to do what he had to do this. The entire NBA wants to see Dame in a winning situation. We haven't seen him in a winning situation since what 2017, 2016 was it?
And even then, I mean, Portland never really had a chance
to
win.
They didn't really
Portland, throughout Dame's entire tenure, they never had a legitimate chance to win a championship.
His second best player was CJ McCollum. It's a solid backcourt play. CJ McCollum, man, you're not gonna win a championship with CJ as your second best player. That's not happening.
Possible.
So I think it's a great move for Dame. He finally deserves this. We all want to see him win. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He hasn't won a ring. We don't want another like Chris Paul scenario. It's like, we'd like to see him win a ring. He has an actual chance now. So obviously we're saying like it's confirmed. We don't know what is going to happen. It's more likely he's going to be the Heat, but I think
the way the NBA is though, you never really know.
You never know. But if it is the Heat, I think that's his best scenario to win right now.
I mean, if you look at the Heat. Jimmy Butler, Bam, Dame, the greatest coach in the NBA currently, and Coach Spo, one of the best of all time. This team obviously is destined to have a very, very good chance to not only win the East, but win the NBA Finals. I mean, we talked about it a little bit off camera, but I think if this trade goes through, I think we are crash coursing, of course, barring any injury for a Bucks Heat Eastern Conference Finals. And oh man, it's tasty. I can't wait to see that. Get me to the playoffs already. The season hasn't even started. I want to see the playoffs. Free agency isn't even done. I want to see the playoffs already. That's where I'm at.
Already.
But this is what we wanted to see. Look, now I'm not sitting here like I want to see Dame win a championship. I want to see Dame have a chance to win a championship at the very least. I want to see him in the biggest games. I want to see him in the Eastern Conference Finals. I want to see him play in the finals. If he doesn't win, he doesn't win. But I want to see him in those big games because we know how good of a player he is. We know how clutch of a player he is. Right now in Portland, he has negative opportunity to do that. He just plays Mickey Mouse regular season games. Be honest, unless you have NBA League Pass, you're not watching Portland. They have no nationally televised games. Who wants to watch Portland? You know what I mean? Damian Lillard is such a good player that when now that he's on Miami with this team, we're actually going to get to see him play more nationally televised. Everyone's going to get to see it. Everyone is finally going to maybe even give Dame a little bit more respect because I think honestly, we all know he's good, he gets disrespected a lot. Dame gets, and I think now he's going to join a winning team, a team that has a winning culture. I think he's finally going to get all the respect he deserves because I think he's the best player on that Heat team. I mean, Jimmy gets bumped down a notch, and Jimmy's okay with that. Jimmy wants to win.
Jimmy would love that.
Jimmy gets bumped down a notch. We got Dame, Jimmy, and then Bam, and then the rest of those guys, of course, filling out the rest of the roster. That's a pretty damn good team. And Dame finally gets a chance. And look, it's impressive for Dame's legacy if he could win a championship in Miami as the number one guy, because that's what it would be. It's huge. It adds so much to his legacy. Obviously, just winning any ring adds a lot to your legacy. But he goes to Miami, a team that was just in the finals.
The best player is a lot.
He's the best player on the team. He joins the team. He could say, "I was the guy who got them over the hump." This team, they lost to the Nuggets. Now they won because of me. I was the guy who did that. And to me, that adds so much more to his legacy than you could say it takes away from it from, finally running away from the grind. I just hate that. Obviously, I've seen a couple people, Joel and people like that say that he ran away from the grind or whatever. I just think that's so ludicrous. And I know I said it before, but I just had to get that off my chest because it's just such blasphemy, man. And I just hate these reactionary things people give. They just get behind the mic and they just say something. I think it's not that crazy. It's ludicrous.
It's not that crazy.
Everyone does it, and now all of a sudden we're going to give Dame shit.
But the thing, everybody does it, but no one outright disses other people for doing it.
But also opinions change. Dame finally looked at the mirror. He said, "I'm not getting any younger."
Everybody knew that.
I am not getting any younger. I have to do this now. He finally realized that opinions change. People change. So I don't think we should be holding Dame because of what he said in the past. Obviously, things change. You know, your mind could get a bit more clear. And that's exactly what happened to Dame. I don't think we should be holding him for what he said in the past, you know, about, you know, riding his high horse about, oh, I don't run from the grind. You know what I mean? You could take quotes from every star player, you know what I mean, and apply them now and say, you know, this type of thing. I just think it's absolutely ludicrous.
I mean, this is a little bit different level. It's different, but I don't completely, you know, slander him. But I think it is just a bit ironic. It's a bit ironic, you know.
Yeah. And let's just say he does win a championship with Miami. If this does happen, people are going to try to say it's a Mickey Mouse ring exactly because of that reason. That's what they're going to say. We know that's what's going to be said.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody says about anything. I mean,
yeah.
Look,
You're right.
Jokic won one, and people are saying, you know,
Mickey Mouse, about as dominant of a ring as you could win. And
a pretty good damn ring, yeah, it's Mickey Mouse ring. You know, you beat the 7 seed Lakers. Who gives a shit? You know, it's always going to happen. You know, fighting that, it's an endless battle. But
you beat the 7 seed Lakers in the 8
seed. And then the 8 seed. So look, but only thing I want to mention before we close it out is, I want to ask this to anybody: Is there any been a clutcher duo than that? Jimmy Butler and Damian Lillard. I can't think of a more clutch duo in like top of my head. I can't think of
NBA history clutch duo. I mean, that's one of the things. If any one of those two guys takes the final shot, you're okay with it.
You're okay.
You have two killers for the final shot, and I think that obviously it opens up a lot of opportunity because you can't look. 99% of the time, when you get to the final shot in those, you know, crunch time moments, you know who the ball is going to. And obviously, you know, for a lot of, you know, big time players, it's not really that much of an issue. You know, the greatest they're still able to get it done regardless. But when you got two of those guys, it makes it a lot harder to defend. I think obviously it's going to give both of those guys more opportunities. If we thought Dame was clutch before, I think he's going to have more opportunity to be clutch now. And obviously Jimmy as well. I think he's going to be getting a lot more open looks that he wasn't getting before. So I think it's just going to be very good for both sides. Why I think that this is going to be such a good combination, a good trio of him, Bam, and Jimmy, if it's able to get done, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, people be forgetting Dame scored 71 earlier this season. Like that's still that guy. He's still that guy. I mean, last time he played
Portland, he doesn't get that respect.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a generational scorer. That's what Dame is.
We're talking about a 75 all-time greatest players in this league's history. That's how good this guy is. Now, you can disagree that he didn't deserve to be on that list or whatever, but he's up there. Whether or not you agree that he was on that list or not, whatever, he was on the list, but whether or not, in your opinion, at least he's top 85 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put him back. If he's not on your top 75 list, he can't be that much far behind. And I think for a lot of people, he is on their top 75 list because that's how good of a player we're talking about. So, honestly, this is one of them things we're going to have to continue to follow it, see how this kind of situation develops because there's just more news coming out. I mean, I saw the tweet that Shams is literally on his phone 19 hours a day during free agency trying to get all of this news out for us, which is kind of crazy, of course. But this is obviously a developing story. We've gotten news that it's going to be a 3-team trade. We've gotten news that Tyler Hero is now expected to be in that package. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after, etc., until this deal finally gets done. And obviously when this deal does get done, we'll be on here making a video about it, giving y'all our initial reaction and thoughts to it. If it's Miami, making another video about that. If it's not Miami, this video is going to be looking like a lot of stupidity, and we'll be making a video talking about how shocked we are that it wasn't Miami. So we'll have to go ahead and keep y'all updated with that. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to see those videos in the future. Comment down below what you think about Dame finally requesting a trade. Do you think that it's going to be Miami like we kind of assume that it is going to be? Let us know in the comments down below. But I think without further ado, we can go ahead and get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
So I'm Zach.
I'm G.
And we'll see you next time for another video on the channel. Peace.